Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. Watch my video and subscribe my channel. Hope Logan on edge as seductive Daphne Rose returns to seduce her fiancé Carter. Hope Logan's engagement to Carter Walton faces a severe challenge as the beautiful Daphne Rose returns to LA. With her enticing scents and flirtatious personality, Daphne's dangerous return threatens Hope and Carter's engagement. Hope Logan's worst nightmare is back in Los Angeles. Just when Hope Logan thought her engagement to Carter Walton was secure, the one woman who could destroy everything has returned to Los Angeles. Daphne Rose, the alluring perfume consultant with her arsenal of intoxicating perfumes, is back in town, and Hope has every right to be on edge. The woman who already crossed the line. Remember when Hope stepped into the CEO office and discovered Carter wrapped in a passionate kiss with Daphne? That treachery still stings. Now the woman who was specially paid by Steffi Forrester to seduce Carter and destroy their relationship is returned to finish what she started. Daphne isn't just any rival. She's a business weapon dispatched by Steffi with one clear mission: tear up Hope and Carter's power couple status and disrupt their dominance of Forrester Creations. Her mysterious perfumes that seem to hypnotize everyone around her? They're just one instrument in her alluring armory. Hope's engagement ring suddenly feels less secure. Despite wearing Carter's engagement ring, Hope knows that didn't stop Daphne previously. The flirtatious behavior, the extra time spent together, those intoxicating aromas floating through the office. It all led to that terrible kiss Hope observed firsthand. Now Daphne's homecoming has Hope scrutinizing Carter's every move. Can she trust her fiancé around the lady who already demonstrated she could turn his head? After everything they've been through to be together, after reclaiming control of Forrester Creations from the Forrester family, will their love strong enough to weather another round of Daphne's deliberate seduction? A love triangle ready to explode. Hope strove hard to win Carter's heart. She changed from the docile good girl into a cutthroat corporate operator eager to betray Ridge Forrester and Eric Forrester for love and power. But all that strength seems to disintegrate when faced with Daphne's threat. The tension is palpable. Hope addressed Daphne once before, urging her not to take my love and twist it to fit your warped narrative. But Daphne doesn't play by the rules. She waves her fragrant scarves, speaks in that overdone, seductive style, and seems to cast a spell on everyone she meets. Will Carter fall under Daphne's spell again? Carter offered Hope the loyalty and respect she never had with Liam Spencer or Thomas Forrester. He positioned himself as the cure to her terrible romantic history. But his track record says eloquently, this is a man who has fallen for Maya Avant, Zoe Buckingham, Paris Buckingham, and had an affair with Quinn Fuller. His weakness for gorgeous ladies is well documented. His attraction to Daphne's intoxicating demeanor matches his pattern perfectly. He's uniquely vulnerable to a lady like Daphne because she represents a new dramatic romantic challenge. The stakes have never been higher. This isn't just about a love triangle. This is about power, control, and the future of Forrester Creations. Steffi's hidden weapon has reappeared at the worst possible time for the engaged couple. With their wedding nearing, Hope assumed she'd seen the last of Daphne Rose. But in the realm of soap operas, the past always comes back to haunt you. And Daphne's homecoming promises to challenge every promise Carter made to Hope. Will history repeat itself? Can Hope protect her engagement from the woman who was practically hired to destroy it? Why Bill and Katie need to reunite. Romantic fresh start ahead. The bold and the beautiful spoilers reveal that there are at least 4 reasons why Bill Spencer and Katie Logan need to reunite. Could a romantic fresh start be ahead for this familiar duo? 1. Katie and Bill have always had amazing chemistry. Not everyone will agree, but plenty of B&B fans believe like Bill and Katie have a wonderful spark on screen together. Katie and Bill have always passed the chemistry test. Therefore, it seems sense to have them come back around as a pair. 2. Bill and Katie have been single too long. Of course, We should also mention that Katie and Bill are both single. It's been that way for much too long at this point, so Bill and Katie could use a love connection in their life again. Since both characters require love interests, this would be the right opportunity to revive the pairing and give Katie a new beginning with Bill. 3. Katie can keep Bill from going off the rails. Grace Buckingham certainly tricked Bill out of $1 million with Liam Spencer's false tumor and faux surgery. Bill could go off the rails and take his revenge too far unless he's got someone like Katie to rein him in. Katie could be the one to stand up and give Bill the support he needs once he finds out he got misled. Since Bill's heart was in the right place when he believed Grace and attempted to offer Liam a miracle, Katie may remind him of that. The most important thing is that Liam isn't dying, so Katie might assist Bill from flying off the handle and making spiteful mistakes. Grace clearly needs to pay, but Katie may encourage Bill to let law police handle it and keep his own hands clean. If Bill can show some improvement as a character, Katie could be prepared to give him another shot in a fresh relationship. 4. Bill won't be tempted by Brooke after her Ridge reunion. In the past, Katie has grappled with doubts surrounding Bill's affections for Brooke Logan. Since Katie doesn't want to be her sister's runner-up in Bill's heart, she shied away from making another commitment to him. However, Bill hasn't been interested in Brooke for quite some time. Now Brooke has Nick Marone after her, but she's all set to reunite with Ridge Forrester once destiny puts them together in Italy. Brooke isn't going to be an option for the foreseeable future, so Bill won't be tempted by her. Katie won't have to worry about Bill and Brooke getting back together, so this is the ideal moment for a Bill and Katie romantic reboot instead. The bold and the beautiful spoilers say some romantic updates could be coming up for Bill and Katie, so stick with us for more news on their potential reunion. Hope Logan had never felt more secure in love than she did the day Carter Walton slipped that engagement ring on her finger. A gleaming promise that the years of heartbreak, betrayal, and second-guessing were finally over. No more Liam waffling. No more living in Steffi's shadow. No more getting passed over for someone more reckless, more magnetic, more Forrester. In Carter, she'd found something different, calm, strong, stable. Or so she thought, until the unmistakable aroma of cinnamon spice and temptation came into Forrester Creations, and with it, the return of Daphne Rose, seductive, deadly, and totally unashamed. Ope's worst nightmare, encapsulated in silk scarves and mesmerizing perfume, was back in Los Angeles. A woman formerly employed by Steffi to carefully seduce Carter and ruin Hope's ascension. Daphne wasn't simply a perfume consultant. She was a weapon, a whisper of desire, a vixen wrapped in vanilla and deception. It had been months since Hope had walked in on Carter and Daphne caught in a soul-stealing kiss in the CEO office. Carter had labeled it a momentary lapse, but Hope never forgot it. How could she? Daphne had studied Carter's weaknesses, the commitment he granted women he barely knew, the way he needed connection and adulation. She'd targeted him like a scientist dissecting a subject. That kiss hadn't simply crushed Hope's heart. It had ignited a ticking time bomb inside her self-worth. And now, she was expected to grin and share office space with this sultry saboteur? The air in Forrester Creations went electric the instant Daphne walked off the elevator. Interns stalled. Executives whispered. Ridge lifted an eyebrow. Even Eric, sat in his magnificent leather chair, appeared briefly bewildered by her presence. And Carter? Carter froze, just for a second, but Hope saw it. His eyes widened, mouth parted, a sudden intake of breath, like his body remembered everything his mind had tried to forget. Daphne, wearing a crimson-wrapped dress and a scent so heavy it clung to the air like desire itself, sauntered in with a smirk that told Hope everything she needed to know. This was no innocent return. This was a siege. Hope, Daphne purred, reaching for her hand with perfectly manicured fingers. Congratulations on your engagement. Carter always did have amazing taste. The sarcasm dripped like syrup. Hope's smile didn't reach her eyes. What are you doing here, Daphne? New line launch, she answered breezily. Steffi asked me to consult. Apparently, Forrester wants to rebrand Bold Intimates with more allure. Of course, Steffi. Who else would rehire the lady who tried to seduce Hope's fiancé? It wasn't just personal, it was calculated, strategic. Hope felt the familiar hatred bubble under her skin. She'd clawed her way to respect, betrayed her own family to acquire control of the fashion firm. And now, she was being tried again, this time by a lady who wielded fragrance and seduction with surgical precision. In meetings, Daphne draped herself across chairs, her aroma surrounding Carter like a cloud. She complimented his designs, lingered too long over fabric swatches, and once, in front of the entire boardroom, whispered, "You remember how good we were together?" Creatively. The pause after creatively wasn't lost on anyone. Carter, to his credit, maintained professionalism, but Hope saw it. The tension, the guilt, the cracks. She faced him that night, her voice shaking. "Tell me the truth. Are you tempted?" He didn't answer right away, and that silence said volumes. "I love you," he finally said. "But Daphne, she gets under my skin. It's not about love. It's something different. Some type of pull." Hope walked out. For the first time, she didn't cry. She plotted. Because Daphne wasn't just risking her relationship. She was threatening her legacy. Hope Logan had battled too hard to be degraded to a jealous fiancé. So she went to an odd ally, Thomas Forrester. Once her obsessive ex, now her hesitant co-parent, Thomas still had one skill she urgently needed: the power to influence perspective. Together, they began a counter-campaign. New scent lines. A campaign featuring Hope as the empowered muse. Press leaks regarding Daphne's past scandals in Paris and Milan. The boardroom turned into a battleground. But Daphne played dirty. She published an unedited security footage of the kiss between her and Carter. Slow motion with ambient music, and it went viral. Overnight, the media pounced. Forrester fiancé falls for Perfume siren. Hope's trust in Carter shattered totally. She returned the ring. "You said you were different," she muttered. "You're just like every man who ever made me believe in forever." Carter broke down. He tried everything: press conferences, interviews, even a restraining order against Daphne, but the damage was done. Daphne, meanwhile, doubled down. She informed press outlets she and Carter were in love. That Hope was an icy queen, bereft of passion. That Steffi had seen the writing on the wall and just prodded fate along. And in the middle of it all, Steffi denied everything. Smug, victorious, and quietly savoring the disintegration of her rival's flawless image. But Hope wasn't done. She wasn't just fighting for love anymore. She was fighting for her identity. With Thomas's help, she found an explosive secret. Daphne's perfumes contained a prohibited pheromone chemical outlawed in European fragrance markets, something that generated mild euphoria and lessened inhibition. It wasn't just seduction. It was manipulation, weaponized chemistry. And Carter? He'd been a victim, too. Hope presented her discoveries straight to Ridge and Eric. The fallout was fast. Daphne was hauled out of Forrester Creations in disgrace. The perfume line was recalled. Steffi denied awareness, but her fingerprints were all over the contract trail. Carter begged for another chance, claiming he'd been drugged, seduced, and manipulated. "I never stopped loving you," he said. But Hope wasn't sure if love was enough. Not anymore. She had a company to protect, a legacy to uphold, and a daughter to raise. She may have lost the battle, but she'd won the war. Daphne was gone. Steffi was exposed. And Carter? He'd have to prove himself all over again. In the closing moment of the episode, Hope stood alone on the Forrester balcony, wind blowing through her hair, the city lights flickering below. She held the engagement ring in her palm, staring at it like a relic. Her voice reverberated softly. "I'm not the girl who waits to be chosen anymore. I am the choice." Fade to black. Brooke's water horror, Ridge's true love epiphany, and Nick's dream dashed. The bold and the beautiful teasers for the next 2 weeks, from July 28th to August 8th. reveal that Brooke Logan will have a terrible encounter in the ocean before Ridge Forrester realizes he is in love. A lot will happen on the CBS soap, and Nick Marone's ambition will also come true. Taylor Hayes will hope she got through to Brooke about Ridge being stolen on the week of July 28th to August 1st. Despite all Taylor's blustering, she'll be anxious about the prospect of Brooke and Ridge connecting on this Italy holiday. Eric Forrester will set up Ridge and Brooke on some dates, and they will have some bonding time. The charm of Naples will surely play a factor in what happens next for Brooke and Ridge. There'll also be a fashion exhibition, but Nick will be focused on pleasure instead than commerce. We'll see Nick try to pry Brooke away from Ridge and make arrangements to do so. Brooke will wind up on a boat with Ridge as they sail to Capri, but Nick will seek a boat as well and urge Brooke to take a voyage with him next. Nick is prepared to surprise Brooke with a marriage proposal, but there are even larger surprises ahead. B&B Spoilers suggest that Brooke will suffer an accident soon. Thus this might be when it happens. Will Ridge, who is jealous, see Brooke slide off the boat? Regardless, Ridge will see a perilous circumstance and play savior. It looks like Ridge will leap in the ocean after Brooke and save her. Thus, that should bring his genuine love epiphany during the week of August 4th to 8th. Things will click into place for Ridge when it comes to the lady he's actually supposed to be with. Everything Eric's been saying will ultimately settle in and lead to Ridge's disclosure that Brooke is his person. Nick's objective of reconnecting with Brooke won't play out, so he'll have to lick his wounds as Brooke goes back to Ridge. However, it'll be Taylor who ends up most devastated, as she really assumed Ridge would stand by her side forever this time around. Taylor appears set to pour her wrath on Ridge and wonder how he could do this to her. Following all the Italy episodes, John Finnegan will resume delving into Grace Buckingham's activities with Liam Spencer and his astonishing recovery. If anyone can expose Grace as a scammer who apparently made up the tumor and experimental operation for money, it's Finn. It'll be beneficial for Finn to immerse himself into this inquiry, since Steffi Forrester will be leaving LA with the kids for a bit. The bold and the beautiful spoilers say the next 2 weeks will deliver some surprising news and escalating strife. So stay tuned for updates on these shocks. Brooke reacts to Taylor's warning. Eric tells Nick back off. The bold and the beautiful spoilers for Monday, July 28th, suggest that Brooke Logan will react to Taylor Hayes' warning, while Eric Forrester tells Nick Marone to back off. After Taylor overheard Brooke making yet another play for Ridge Forrester, she decided to confront her alone. That led to Taylor making it very plain that Ridge wasn't available and assuring nothing was going to come between them. On Monday's B&B show, we should see Brooke's reaction to Taylor's outburst. Despite Taylor believes that her future with Ridge is secure, Brooke won't be so confident about it. It appears plausible Brooke will push Taylor's buttons by playing up her history with Ridge and how often they found their way back to each other. Brooke may point out that Italy may be a magical location and leave Taylor even more worked up than before. As for Eric, he'll have a tough talk with Nick. Since Eric is cheering for Brooke and Ridge's happy ending, he won't want Nick making a worse mess of things. Now that Eric's been pushing Ridge to reconnect with Brooke before it's too late, he'll undoubtedly warn Nick that his own Brooke reunion isn't going to happen. Eric will still believe in the power of destiny when it comes to Brooke and Ridge's future. That's why Eric will direct Nick away from his Brooke quest, or at least attempt to. Nick isn't someone who lets other people tell him what to do, so he won't be keen to listen Eric's suggestion. Instead, Nick will decide to prove he's the perfect man for Brooke and will make some surprising actions once the Italy holiday starts going. Although Nick would intend on seducing Brooke to not the wedding, various twists and turns are likely to throw off his next plot. Nick will have to make some updates along the journey as bad news strikes. The bold and the beautiful spoilers show Brooke and Ridge really are endgame. Nick proposes Bridge's boat adventure. The bold and the beautiful spoilers reveal a preview clip has been released for the week of July 28th, 2025. It is all about the experience in Italy, which kicks out on Tuesday, July 29th. So, Let's get started talking about Ridge Forrester, Brooke Logan, and Nick Marone's retreat. Brooke Logan's arrival. Let's begin with Brooke and Ridge. Both are in Italy on business, together with Eric Forrester and others.